Hi everybody, I'm Hansen. I am the author of Simple Cooking with Essential Oils, and today we are making a nice fall recipe. I'm so excited for fall. So we're gonna do this, and it's something that you have to try. This is my no-fail, husband loves it meal. This is a white chicken chili. And what's the most exciting and fun is that you can actually use leftover turkey instead of the chicken if you needed to do that around Thanksgiving. So I'm going to do it today in the Instapot, but there are different directions with the crock pot or the Instapot, and you can find that on my social media, either Facebook or Instagram. They're both rocking it with essential oils, and you can see the recipe there, or we can get back to you. But I'm doing it, this is just a power pot. I have it heating up so I can saute some onions. And that was just a little bit of olive oil. And I'm gonna show you a trick as far as garlic goes. So the recipe calls for minced garlic, but I like to get these little graters and just grate it right in. Then they're not gonna have a big chunk of garlic. You just get the flavor and it will dissolve into the chili. The reason why I love this so much is because it is just a dump and go recipe. You just kind of dump everything in, let it cook, and it's done, and it's delicious. It will freeze really well. If you have a lot of leftovers, you can throw some in the freezer. So it's just an all-around great recipe. You can cook it for big groups, little groups, whatever you need to do. So that was just a few cloves of garlic. And we'll just cook that a little. I just want it to get a little translucent, and we're gonna add the chicken in and just brown it up just a little bit. These put off great heat. We've already got a good color to those onions, so I'll just throw this in. This is anywhere from about 2.5 pounds of chicken. You could do 3 pounds of chicken. If you are using the turkey, you would wanna just cook it without the meat and add the shredded meat at the end. Or if you have chicken in your fridge that you need to use up, this is a great way to do that as well. So you can just cook all the ingredients and add the chicken or the turkey when the soup is finished. So we'll just get a little bit of color. And I have some beans here. You can use canned beans, or these are some that I just soaked. So you can do 2 cans of beans, or this is about 3 to 4 cups. We'll just pour that in. And diced whole, not whole, but diced peppers, the chili peppers. The green, there we go. The diced green peppers, that's gonna add a fun flavor. And the way that I add the essential oils is I like to add the oils into a liquid so that they can mix in better. I'm gonna use 2 drops of cumin and 2 drops of marjoram. Now, if you were not one of the lucky ones that got this oil when it was out in the summer packs a couple years ago, you can use dried cumin. Depending on how strong you want that flavor, you would need about a 1/4 teaspoon to a 1/2 teaspoon. Always start with less, just like the oils. Start with less and add more. And I'm just gonna stir these together. And I just like to emulsify it pretty well so that those oils are not going to be pockets on the chicken or the beans. We'll just stir it in the stock and then add this. This is 4 cups of chicken stock. You could use homemade stock, store-bought stock. That's one of the tricks that I love to incorporate is using the oils in the store-bought stock, because I feel like it gives it that fresh flavor like it is homemade. And then we're going to add a little bit of cayenne pepper to give it a little bit of kick. We'll just do good little sprinkle, about a 1/4 teaspoon, and a shake of salt and pepper, and we're done. So you could even do this in a stock pot if you needed to. If you throw it in the crock pot, you just want it to cook for a couple hours until those beans are done. We'll just do a stir to this, and we'll do it on the soup setting for about 10 minutes. We're gonna seal it up, and then we'll show you how to top it in just a couple minutes. Okay, so this finally built pressure and cooked. We did it for about 10 minutes today, and it's still, oh, it smells so good. It's still bubbling away just a little bit. Now, this is kind of a looser soup. with the beans and the chicken. So what I like to do to make it a little bit thicker is you can either use a blender if you have that at home, or if you have an immersion blender, you can just blend up some of those beans so that it is a thicker consistency. And I'll just do this real quick, a couple quick blends, and then I'm gonna show you some toppers. You still want this chunky, so don't blend too much of it, like maybe put half. It is very hot, so if you're doing this in a blender, make sure that it doesn't get out and splash on you. But this is just gonna blend up some of those beans and make it a thicker, creamier consistency without adding cream or anything else to it. See how it just kind of changed that a little bit? It's a creamier, thicker consistency now. But it's still chunky. So this is great. You can serve it as is. But to me, some of the funnest part about chili is having the toppers that go with it. So I mentioned earlier, lime and sour cream is one of my favorite toppers for fajitas or tacos, chili, and even just plain. You can use sour cream or Greek yogurt, or just plain yogurt. I just stir that up and it's good to go. And a little trick with cilantro. Now, cilantro oil you could use. Sometimes if you're using the fresh one, a fun way to take it off is use a fork and just run that along the stems, and it's gonna de-stem the cilantro for you. So we'll just pull that right off, and then you can chop this and use it for a topper. You could also use homemade salsa. So you could use the cilantro oil in the salsa. Maybe a toothpick swirl if you don't like the flavor and it's a little bit too strong. You could use black pepper in salsa. That's really good. Fun topper as well. Tortilla chips. You could do fresh lime instead of the lime drops. I like to do a little bit of both because the lime oil does come from the zest of the lime, and the lime juice from fresh limes will add a little bit more tang. So you do have different flavors that way. So there's a couple tricks and a couple toppers. Let's get some of this out so you can see. It's still a chunky, yummy consistency, and it's nice and warm and filling. Those beans are gonna get you nice and full. And you've got the green peppers in there as well to add a little kick. If you feel like you want to add a little bit more chili powder or cayenne pepper to it, you could. This is a good base, and then you can let your guests choose what they would like to do. They can warm it up with more chili pepper or cayenne pepper, or they can cool it down with sour cream and cheese. Avocado or guacamole with a little bit of lime and black pepper is another fun topping that you can do. We'll just do a dollop of sour cream, a little bit of cheese, and a little bit of jalapeno. So I hope you guys try this and love it and have a good time eating it. Thanks for joining us today.